how's it going, you guys? Marty here. GuitarJams.com is the site. And I just made a new ebook that's totally free. So if you sign up on my mailing list, you will receive all the beginner chords and the pentatonic scale diagrams that you would need to follow my lessons. So anyway, I'm going to teach you this classic right now, obviously. And what I want to do is, there's some finger picking stuff. What I think I want to do is show you each shape. I'm going to show you each shape up close, and then we'll work on how to pick each thing. Alright, the first chord shape, I take my index finger and I bar it across the 5th fret, kind of like with the side of my finger here. So I roll it kind of pressured. And I want to cover, if you can, cover the 1, 2, 3, 4 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, even if they're not all being played. And then my ring finger, it's got a bend to it, and it's going to be on the 7th fret of the D string. So it should sound like this when you just play it. And that's an A minor. So then from there, and we'll work on the little picking part in a second. So that's the first chord. This is barred and only the 7th fret of the D string. Then the ring finger comes off, middle finger goes to the 6th fret of the D string, and then I prefer my pinky to go to the 7th fret of the high E, but if you can do it with your ring finger, that's cool as well. So we got the first shape. The middle finger comes down, and either your ring finger on the 7th or your pinky. The reason I say pinky is because the next chord, you just can slide it up. Alright, so the first chord, then middle finger goes down, and we're going to put a note on the high E right there. Or ring finger. Then pinky, and that last one's up to you. Pinky is going to go up to the 8th fret of the high E while this is still barred. So far the first 3 chords all have the index finger barred on the 5th fret. We got right there. Alright, so if you're a beginner and you're trying to master the song, the next chord could just be a regular D chord if you want. But the most correct way is to actually have the 4th fret on the D string with the D chord. So you can do it a few different ways. You can play a D chord and get your pinky onto the 4th fret. Beginner way, you can just do a regular D chord. It's still going to sound almost identical, but you can get your pinky there. What I do is I bar across, just like I did right here, but down here, like that. And then I get my middle finger onto the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, the B string, and then my ring finger on the 4th fret of the D string. Just like that. So that's that next shape. So far we've got and if these are all new chords, I would recommend practicing the chord shapes a little bit first before you get overwhelmed with that thing. Alright? So then the next thing we have is we're going to do an F major 7 chord. Like that. And then the last little dun 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 is really just a G major chord to an A minor chord. Like 1 on G, 2 on A minor. But some of the notes aren't being plucked, so if you looked at a tab, it would just be middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and you'd pluck that, and then the G and the B. And then you go to an A minor chord, and you pluck the same strings, but you add the high E in there as well if you can. Like that. So review those chord shapes. One more time, the chord shapes. Alright, now let's get into the pattern. So with the first chord shape, you're gonna hit the D, G. You can pick any fingers you want this time. You just go through each one. Then when we go to the chord shape number 2, whether it's your ring finger or pinky finger, we're gonna pluck with our thumb and index or thumb and ring finger or whatever. You're gonna pluck the D string and the high E string. So far we have. And after you do the double pluck, you're gonna pick the B, then the G. You did the first shape. You did the second shape, the double pluck. Then B, G. Then you gotta just by itself hit the high E with the pinky or the ring finger on the 7th fret. Like that, by itself. So it's. Then we're gonna do on this chord shape, we're gonna hit the D and the high E together, then the B, G. So far. Then the high E. Then we go to this inverted D, and we're gonna hit the D and high E again together. Then the B and G. Then the high E again by itself, just like before. Then we go to the F major 7 chord, same pattern again. So on the F chord, it's going to be the D and the high E plucked together, then the B, G, then B again. So then high E, B, G. Then that little portion of a G chord, and then the A minor chord. So I'm going to show you through the chord shapes as you hear the song. Then you're going to put your ring finger or your, I think ring finger. So you have to hit the open A string, and then I slide from the 5th fret of the A string all the way up to the 8th with one pluck on my thumb. Then I slide it back to 7 and I hit that note. Alright, so that's the first part, that classic riff. Maybe don't go into the music store and play it. You know, some people have some superstitions about that. Stairway to Heaven. Do Stairway! I've heard that at many gigs. It's only second to Freebird! So anyway, why don't you go click my friend list and get that free ebook. You want to check it out, especially if you're a beginner. It's really helpful. But anyway, I'm going to keep doing these lessons for you, and I appreciate all the support I've gotten, and we'll see you in the next go-around.